Greetings all you out in YouTube land. In this video, we will be looking at DC District Judge Amir Ali and his pushback on the Trump administration and their handling of funds and near closing of USAID. Let's talk about that and what that could mean going forward. So, the issue with this case is that the current Trump administration is ordering the dismantling and defunding of USAID. USAID is the U.S. government's primary agency responsible for administering foreign aid and humanitarian assistance. Its core mission is to promote global development and support countries in need by disaster relief, global health, economic development, education, and climate change. USAID is funded primarily through congressional appropriations. Here's how the process works. First is the budget proposal by POTUS, President of the United States. Then the proposal goes through congressional approval. Then once approved, the last step is disburse the funds that were approved. The funding comes from taxpayer money and is part of the international affairs budget, typically a small slice of the overall federal budget, around 1% or less. USAID is often the first responder to natural disasters, famines, and conflicts. Without it, disaster-hit regions, like those struck by earthquakes or hurricanes, would face longer recovery times. Disease outbreaks might spread faster without immediate aid. USAID funds critical health initiatives like HIV/AIDS prevention through PEPFAR, malaria and tuberculosis treatment, and vaccination programs in developing countries. Without these, millions of lives would be at risk, and diseases could spread globally. USAID supports job creation, education, and agriculture. Removing this support could lead to mass unemployment in aid-reliant countries, trigger economic instability, increasing poverty rates, destabilize fragile economies, potentially leading to more conflict. Foreign aid isn't just charity, it's a tool of diplomacy. USAID fosters alliances and builds goodwill. Dismantling it would create a vacuum for countries like China and Russia to expand their influence by stepping in with their own aid programs. The U.S. would lose leverage in regions critical to its foreign policy goals. USAID helps address the root causes of extremism, poverty, lack of education, and weak governance. Without these programs, extremist groups might exploit the chaos, threatening global and U.S. security. More instability abroad could lead to increased refugee crises, some of which may impact U.S. borders. American businesses benefit from USAID projects by securing contracts for infrastructure, tech, and agricultural development overseas. Dismantling the agency could hurt these companies, resulting in job losses in the U.S. too. Considering who Trump likes to rub shoulders with, it doesn't surprise me that he would want to shut down an agency such as USAID. Dismantling USAID would have far-reaching consequences that go beyond just cutting foreign aid. It would weaken America's global influence, threaten national security, and destabilize regions that rely on this support. It's not just about helping other countries. It's about maintaining strategic alliances, preventing the spread of extremism, and keeping the U.S. competitive on the global stage. The courts pushing back against the Trump administration's attempt to freeze USAID funding is a crucial moment. It signals that there are checks and balances still at work, even when the executive branch oversteps. This judicial resistance could help maintain some stability, moving forward by ensuring that abrupt policy decisions, especially those with global consequences, face legal scrutiny. In the immediate future, the court's intervention may slow down or prevent further attempts to cut off critical aid, giving time for diplomatic efforts to regroup and for lawmakers to push for more transparent decision-making. It also sends a message that unilateral moves to block funding without proper legal grounds won't go unchallenged. Ultimately, this moment highlights the ongoing tension between branches of government, but also shows that the system of checks and balances is still functional. If this pushback continues, it might prevent even more drastic cuts or policy shifts, at least in the short term. Thank you for watching to the end. This is my first commentary video, and I would appreciate any feedback in the comments. Just remember, we all have a voice and every last one should be heard. Right now we are going through very unprecedented and truly scary times. Don't ever be afraid of letting your voice be heard. I would urge all of you to find out how to get in contact with your congressional representative to the House of Representatives, and also reaching out to your state's senators. Even if it is, tell them you think they are performing wonderfully. Just remember, united we stand, divided this all goes away.